everyone, and welcome to another video where we voice artists' original characters. Let's get started! Our third character is by an artist named PeachieBun, pronouns she, her. This character's name is Prince Cumulous, and I'll read a little bit of the history and the backstory that she gave me for Prince Cumulous here. He is the Prince of Somnus, the Kingdom of Dreams. His current form is a weakened state from when the kingdom was attacked by the embodiment of nightmares. He eventually escapes to Earth. He comes across a girl named Trinity, and she becomes his magical girl, and they fight to restore the Kingdom of Dreams. Which I think is a lovely idea. We all love our magical girl animes, and you can see that inspiration in sort of his drawing here. I love the big anime eyes. I love sort of the bipedal and the wings, and he's got little claws, and I love the horns and the almost second wings in his hair. Very, very cute. Great magical girl energy, sidekick energy. I love it. We're gonna run with it full-heartedly and full through. She gave me a few notes on his character. She said that he's very kind, even though he's royalty, which is good, but he does rush into some things without thinking. So he's a little clumsy and sometimes makes mistakes. Which makes sense. A lot of side characters tend to be that way. In Magical Girl, it ends up being a very good support to the overall main characters. And that's actually the word that I think we're going to focus on. When I saw this drawing, when I got the energy from Prince Cumulous for the first time and heard his backstory and heard his personality, the first word that came to mind for me was supportive. Because I think especially creatures in these types of animes and scenarios, their biggest trait is that when that main character or when their friend group feels like they can't go on, that character, in this case Prince Cumulous, is the one who never ever doubts them, always trusts them, is always supportive of them, and determined that they can win this and they can beat the bad guys and they can save the world. And so I think that's the trait we want to run with. Determined, supportive, trusting. I would also say maybe he's a little smart. He is royalty. I think maybe he could plan a few things here and there. He might not be the main leader. He might not be front and center fighting the war and winning the battles, but I think he's got a little bit of a brain. Now, of course, we'll add in the little bits about being clumsy and not quite thinking, but I like that tying all in together. Let's create a neutral line for Prince Cumulous. In what way do we think Prince Cumulous would be acting for this neutral line? Well, I want to focus on the idea that he's very determined and very ready to save his kingdom. Yes, his kingdom has been attacked, but it's not just his family and his people that he's trying to save. It's dreams, in a nutshell. It's dreams for everyone, for worlds all over. And I think that's really noble of him. We want to focus on sort of that drive-through as our neutral line context.
We can do it. I know that between the two of us, there's nothing we can't do. We will stop the nightmares. And we will save everyone's dreams.
Yeah, I love that protagonist energy where he is going to save the world, save his friends, save his people, save the dreams, and take over and give everyone a good, happy life like it should be. I love that passion. So good neutral line. Now let's go into our emotions, our three setup, our happy, angry, sad. I think for him to be overstatic and overjoyed would be when he meets his magical girl, Trinity. Their meeting and them teaming up would make him incredibly ecstatic that there are kind people in this world that he can join with to help take back his kingdom and save the people. His happy dialogue might be,
"Ever since I met you, I knew we would be the best of partners and the best of friends."
Yeah, I think that's really good. It encompasses their relationship, their friendship, and how powerful of a bond that is. I like that a lot. Okay, Now let's take this lovely, determined, happy-go-lucky, cumulous boy, and let's go into our powerful, passionate emotions with angry as our second one. What would Prince Cumulous be angry about? I mean, his whole drawing is very sweet and solid, and his little happy eyes that have so much passion and vigor and excitement. How do we take this and we channel it into angry? I think when he meets the villain and he's going up in a battle, maybe not the final battle, maybe one of the mid-tier battles, right? But I think they're going to face him. They get face to face, and I think maybe he would get really angry at the tragedy and the sorrow that this King of Nightmares has caused to all of the people. So let's put that anger for wanting him to stop doing what he's doing and pay for what he's done into a dialogue here.
How could you do this? Don't you know how many people you've hurt? Well, you won't be hurting them anymore.
Okay, we love it. I love protagonist anger because it's very righteous. It's like, yes, you're angry, but you're fighting for a good cause, and we are angry with you, and we want you to succeed. Love that for Prince Cumulous. So last but not least, sadness. Let's channel this energy, this heightened emotion into why Prince Cumulous would be sad. I think he would be sad for the loss of people's dreams. This is a kingdom that he rules over, but he rules over it for good reason. He is cultivating people's dreams, their wishes, their hopes. And hope is such a powerful thing that I think he would be really devastated by feeling like he didn't do enough and he wasn't able to stop the King of Nightmares from taking over the kingdom in the first place. So let's put that into this sad dialogue.
I should have done more. I tried to stop him, I swear I did, but it wasn't enough. And now all those people's hopes, they're all gone because of me.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's a powerful one. It gives us this moment of wholesome reflection on what has happened, and you just kind of want to give him a hug because he is doubting himself so much. Poor little guy, I just want to give him a hug. But that was good. I think it was good to play around with those three. I really like the backstory, and I love the personality of Prince Cumulous. And so I can't wait to see more of this guy. Go check out PeachieBun's work, of course, in the description, and show her some love. On to character number 4. The last character on our docket today is by an artist who goes by PeacockKnight. They have created this character in front of you. The character's name is Angela. They've given me a little bit of a description, a little bit of a history here, not too much, although I'm very intrigued by the drawing itself. The description that I have here is that Angela is from a sci-fi dystopia. She is kind of socially awkward, and her usual day-to-day activities or extracurriculars involve using the internet and being in those sort of forums and communities. So what do I get from this drawing? And you'll see a few different drawings as we go through our dialogue here and we look at some options. The other drawings that you'll see besides this first one are older versions of Angela, so they may look a little different. They're a bit in older art style and things of that nature. This first one is the most up-to-date that the artist provided to me recently, so we'll be running off of this one primarily. Since we don't have a lot of knowledge and a lot of backstory, let's see what we can gather from this drawing and this beautiful digital painting here. I love the expression on her face. It's this contortion of emotion where it's not angry or happy or sad or any of these things combined. It's sort of a mystery. I would almost argue she seems a little afraid with that facial emotive state. What she's afraid of, I don't know. Could it be the mounds of human teeth and mouths above her? Possibly. But that screams sci-fi dystopian. And I love my spooky, scary stuff. We had it in our second drawing. This is fantastic. I love the energy, how her hair covers her face. It's really long too. Her jacket is sort of drooped over her arms, not quite being worn. Maybe it's being fully worn, but it's sort of like falling down. I would note that even a lot of the brush strokes in the drawing look like they're sort of falling downwards. Her hair gives me like wet waterfall energy. So I think using the feeling of all of this falling down and flowing like water or an avalanche, right? Anything that has this energy of just downwards and really heavy, I think will fit well with this character in the drawing that we have here. And I think it can also add to a bit of the emotion on her face, maybe a bit of that scaredness, maybe it's a bit of social awkwardness, uncomfortability. I like all of that combining. Some adjectives that I might give for her, the word that comes a lot to me is sorrowful. Some of that energy is in there. She also seems relatively quiet, maybe an introvert, but I think she's also very thoughtful and introspective. Generally, folks who are more to themselves and don't speak as much tend to have a good view on other people's emotions and feelings and the way that they work in the world because they're observers. They're constantly watching. They're taking what they see and what they observe and what they hear all in at once and sort of making a little notebook of things and people and places and sounds. And I think that could be a part of her, where she's very introspective in this way. She considers her thoughts before she speaks, if she speaks at all. She might be the type of person who doesn't really say much, not for a lack of words, but maybe more feeling like she doesn't need to. And I like that energy for her. So I think thoughtful, sorrowful, but smart and introspective are good things to throw in with this socially awkward dystopian energy. So let's create a neutral line for Angela. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need me for something? Yeah, I like that lower voiced, almost a little gargly, a little scratchy, kind of like a Raven from Teen Titans, but without the angst of the Raven from Teen Titans. Don't get me wrong, I love some angst, but she doesn't strike me as an angsty character. She strikes me more, as we were saying earlier, where she is thinking about things rather than being caught up with things and just not wanting to engage. I think she just doesn't need to. So I like the lower, I like the quieter, and I like adding that scratchiness to it. So it's a bit of like she doesn't speak much, so maybe her voice is a little hoarse. And I think it gives a good socially awkward vibe of, oh, like you were talking to me? I don't know what to do. I like that energy a lot. So that's her neutral line. Let's give her a happy one. So what would make Angela happy, overjoyed, excited, passionate, upbeat? All words that we didn't use to describe her in a neutral state. It's almost opposite words, you could argue. This might be a little difficult for a character like this, but I think because it's difficult, it makes it more fun. What can make Angela overjoyed, overstimulated, crazy excited? And again, with some other characters we had, she might not be excited to where she's laughing and yelling and all these things, just her version of really, really happy. Angela might have a really happy, nice moment if somebody genuinely compliments her on something that she's passionate about, maybe something that she's created, maybe a community that she's in online. I think if someone genuinely compliments her, that she'd be happy about it. She might be a little shy and a little nervous, but I think it would really touch her heart that someone felt enjoyment and felt thrill out of what she offered them. Let's take it in that way and give her a happy line of dialogue. You really liked it? Thanks. I've been working on it for a while now. It means a lot that you would say that. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's like a calm, shy happiness, but still enjoyment. Almost like the little red blush cheeks that you get in anime when they're like, oh, it's okay, you said something nice, oh my goodness, right? I think that's what it would be and adds to the nervousness a bit. I like that. So let's go into anger. I think we're going to end up back into sort of that cold, stoic anger that we were talking about earlier with the mannequin character. But I think there might be a little bit more emotion into Angela's anger, because I think she's a bit more in touch with those feelings than the AI that we were doing that didn't have it in the first place. So let's put a little bit more raspy anger into whatever dialogue we give her here.
Why would you do that? You think you can get away with anything. Well, you can't. You can't get away with that here. I won't let you.
Yeah, I like bringing it a little bit more strong, a little bit more passionate, a little bit more forceful. Because I think she would have sort of that forceful, don't you even try it type of energy, but in her natural lower cadence and softer tone. Good, okay. So let's go on to our last one, sadness. I think for sad, we're gonna tie in a bit of what we said about the drawing earlier, where she almost looks a little fearful. Now, a lot of these emotions can intertwine, right? You can be angry and sad and a mixture of the two, and I think we're gonna throw in a little bit of fear with the sadness here, especially because it's a dystopian. I think those intertwine a lot more than in other genres. We're gonna go with more of a context of whatever dystopian entity environment that she's living in and fighting against, she feels like she has lost the battle, lost the war, and that she can't go on. She's terrified to go forward, and we're gonna meld those together and see what we get for this third dialogue option. I don't think I can do this anymore. I never had a chance to begin with. I'm doomed. Yeah, I think that's really powerful. I think it hits hard, and it sort of intertwines that breathiness, that shakiness of fear with almost the starting to cry of sad, and it works well for Angela. All right, so that wraps up our last character here. Again, go follow PeacockKnight, links in the description, and don't forget to follow all the other artists in this video. We have PeachieBun with Prince Cumulous. Show them your love and your support. And if you are an artist with an original character and want to let me play around with the voice, please message me as well. Give me a like and subscribe, and let's make a video. Let's give a voice and a life to your original character. All right, my friends, goodbye.